What do you swear you saw, but have no proof? When I was 10, we had a 14-year-old German Shepherd who was getting very sick. I was home alone momentarily as my mom went to the neighbors to pick up a book or something. Our German Shepherd came over, convinced me to walk outside with him and started licking my hands, looked at me, and ran away jumping the fence, and he never came back. He was so loyal and good that to this day no one believes me and thinks he was stolen because he would never leave. I'm almost certain he did that because he didn't want us to see him die and he wanted to go to the massive forest area and do his thing. I miss you, buddy. When I was a kid, I'd sometimes get up in the middle of the night and go downstairs to get a drink or snack. On the way, I had to pass by this dark hallway that led to my dad's office. I was always scared to look down that hallway at night because I had this fear that I was going to see a small child standing there. I have no idea where the thought came from, outside of my hyperactive imagination. Well, fast forward many years and me and my wife and kids are staying in that house during a visit. My daughter is sleeping in my dad's office. As you may have already figured out, one night I'm heading down to get a snack. I look down that hallway as I pass by it, and what do I see? My child standing there. Scared the crap out of me. I was stalked by a mountain lion when I was young. My family was ahead of me and I saw it in a tree watching me. I yelled forward to my parents and looked back and it was gone. I was under 10 at the time and I'm almost 40 now. I don't even know if it was real anymore. I was at the airport and saw a businessman with a carry-on wheelie bag get off the escalator. He turned the corner, broke into a sprint carrying the bag by its small strap handle on top. He swung the bag forward and let go of the strap handle. While it was in mid-air, he grabbed the currently unextended extending handle, pressed the button and on the backswing extended the handle and landed it on its wheels and continued sprinting, all without breaking stride. That there is a goddamned cornucopia on the fruit of the loom labels. 2 foxes ice skating on a frozen pond. My mom and brother saw it too. We watched for a good 10 minutes or more. Sometimes on hind legs, sometimes not. But they were definitely playing together and enjoying sliding around. Back in 1995, I was sitting on the beach in Durban, South Africa, with a bunch of mates after a night out. The sun was just starting to come up, and a dolphin launched itself out of water. For less than a second, it was silhouetted in front of the rising sun, and then it was gone. Nobody else saw it, but it is an image that is burned into my mind and will no doubt stay with me for the rest of my life. I once saw a cat walk up a street to a zebra crossing, stop, look for cars, cross, then walk down in the same direction on the other side of the road. Street smart cat. I once saw an electrician sweep. I was at my parents', sitting in the living room. They have a dog and I was looking at her, waiting for her to give me her attention. After a few minutes, she looked at me. I wanted to teach her something unnecessary, my parents would wonder about later. I began to raise my eyebrows. She looked at me still. I did it more often. She was still very curiously looking at me. I went on raising my eyebrows over and over again for at least a few minutes. After staring at me for a really long time, she suddenly raised her eyebrows. I found it so funny and couldn't believe she really copied me. When I told my family, no one believed me and my parents' dog would not do it again. This was 3 years ago and from time to time I sit in front of her, raising my eyebrows. But nothing. Went jogging at 5 a.m., stopped to say a prayer at a statue in front of the church. There was an old lady praying too, so I stopped by her side, closed my eyes, and then I heard the old lady crying, so I opened my eyes to check and holy shit, she was nowhere to be found. So I thought I'd imagined her or something and started jogging again only to hear something in the back. So I turned back and look, AMD, there she is staring at me. And I ran as fast as I could. Most intense jog I'd ever had though. Babysitting my brother's 1-year-old twins. Both have a couple of words but not anything close to a sentence, mum, dad, cow, hi, sort of thing. One of the kids grabbed my phone off the floor and I asked for it back. He said, "Would you like your phone back?" pretty perfectly. I said yes please and he handed it me. No one believes me. An entirely white owl. In Brazil, Atlantic forest. Arriving home 3 a.m. Live just beside a closed forest area. The owl was on the sidewalk. Stopped to photograph but it flew away. Probably albino ou leucistic. Never saw it again. 2012 I lived in the Midwest near an Air Force base. I delivered newspapers in the early morning hours to make extra money. 4 o'clock one morning a drone starts shadowing me on my route. Not a tiny drone like today, this fucker was big and it was way up in the air. I saw it through my sunroof. I could hear it humming. It followed me for blocks. I got out of my car to make a porch delivery and looked up at it and it flew off. Still creeps me out. At work on the railroad, going down the main line at 40 Malif, middle of the day, middle of the woods. Watched a massive thing leap from one tree line to the other, completely cleared a span of about 30 feet without touching the ballast. It was on all fours and muscular, bear, shaped but much bigger. And its skin was fleshy pink. I jumped out of my seat when I saw it. My engineer didn't as he was looking at me while talking. Told him what I saw, described it expecting to be given shit about it. To my surprise he told me 2 weeks before a different conductor he was working with saw the same thing in right the same area. Never heard another thing about it.